Human beings are social creatures. From the moment we are born, we crave connection. A baby cries not only for milk but also for touch, warmth, and the presence of another. As we grow, our ability to talk, listen, and connect shapes our destiny. Some people move easily through conversations, while others struggle with shyness, awkwardness, or fear of saying the wrong thing. Yet the truth is simple. The ability to talk to anyone is not a gift given to a few, it is a skill anyone can learn. In this essay, we'll explore not just techniques, but also the mindset behind meaningful conversations. We'll journey through the psychology of human interaction, the art of storytelling, the role of body language, and the habits that turn ordinary small talk into deep connection. And along the way, we'll discover that talking to anyone is less about perfect words and more about understanding people, showing genuine interest, and cultivating confidence. When you approach someone new, whether it's a stranger at a bus stop, a colleague in the office, or even a celebrity at an event, you may feel nervous. You might think, what should I say? Will they like me? What if I embarrass myself? But here's a secret. While you're worried about yourself, the other person is just as focused on themselves. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, and understood. That's the universal human desire. If you can make someone feel understood, you've already won half the battle of communication. Consider the story of Alex, a young university student who always felt invisible in social gatherings. He envied people who seemed to glide into conversations, making friends instantly. One day, a mentor told him, "Stop worrying about being interesting. Start being interested." That advice changed his life. Instead of rehearsing clever lines, Alex began asking questions about people's dreams, hobbies, and stories. He discovered that once people started talking about themselves, they lit up. He didn't have to carry the whole conversation. He just had to listen actively and encourage them. To talk to anyone, shift the spotlight. Instead of worrying about yourself, focus on the other person. The first 30 seconds often decide how the rest of the conversation will flow. People form impressions quickly by your posture, facial expression, tone, and even the energy you bring. Imagine two scenarios. In the first, someone approaches you with slouched shoulders, avoiding eye contact, mumbling a quiet hi. Instinctively, you sense hesitation and awkwardness. In the second, the person walks up with an open smile, steady eye contact, and a clear voice. "Hello, nice to meet you." Which one are you more likely to engage with? You don't need to be overly charming or fake. Just remember the basics. Smile genuinely. A warm smile signals friendliness. Eye contact, not a stare, but enough to show confidence. Open body language, uncrossed arms, a relaxed stance. Clear greeting, a simple hi, "How are you?" carries more weight than most people think. In fact, research shows that people decide whether they like you within 7 seconds of meeting. Words may come later, but your energy is already speaking. Many people fear the ice-breaking moment. What do you say to someone you've never met? The answer is simpler than you think. You don't need to deliver a speech. Icebreakers are not about being clever. They're about being human. Start with what's around you. At a party, how do you know the host? At work, how long have you been with the company? At a cafe, this place makes the best coffee. Have you tried their pastries? With strangers, that's a great book you're reading. Do you recommend it? Even small comments can open doors. The goal is not to impress, but to start. Consider how children make friends. A child on a playground doesn't rehearse lines. They simply walk up and say, "Do you want to play?" The other child almost always says yes. Adults complicate things, but the principle remains: just start. The courage to begin is more valuable than the perfect opening line. The greatest conversationalists are not those who talk the most, but those who listen the best. Think about the people you love talking to. Chances are, they make you feel heard. They don't just wait for their turn to speak. They respond thoughtfully, ask follow-up questions, and mirror your emotions. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is passive. You register the sounds. Listening is active. You engage, interpret, and show interest. Practical ways to become a better listener. Nod or give small verbal cues like "I see," "That's interesting," "Wow." Repeat or paraphrase. So you're saying the trip to Italy changed the way you see art. Avoid distractions. Put away your phone when someone is talking. Notice emotions, not just words. If someone says, "Work has been hectic," with a sigh, respond to the emotion. That sounds exhausting. People rarely remember your exact words, but they never forget how you made them feel. Listening makes them feel valued. Conversations die when there's no curiosity. But when you are genuinely curious about someone, dialogue flows naturally. Many people struggle with talking to others because of fear. Fear of rejection, judgment, or awkward silence. But here's the truth. Awkwardness is part of being human. Everyone has moments when the conversation stalls. What matters is not avoiding awkwardness, but handling it gracefully. If silence falls, don't panic. Smile, breathe, and restart with a light comment or question. People will not remember the silence. They'll remember how comfortable you made them feel. To overcome fear, practice small interactions daily. Greet your neighbor. Compliment the cashier. Ask a colleague about their weekend. These small wins build confidence over time. Remember, confidence is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite fear. Studies show that over 70% of communication is nonverbal. This means your body often speaks louder than your mouth. Tips for positive body language. Keep your shoulders relaxed, not tense. Mirror the other person's posture subtly. It builds rapport. Lean slightly forward when someone is speaking. It shows interest. Avoid fidgeting, crossing arms, or looking at your watch. One of the strongest signals is touch. A firm handshake, a friendly pat on the shoulder, or a high five in casual contexts can deepen connection instantly. Dale Carnegie, author of How to Win Friends and Influence People, wrote, "A person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language." When you meet someone, make an effort to remember their name. Use it in conversation. "It's great to meet you, Sarah." What do you think, John? It makes the interaction personal and shows respect. Forgetting a name is common, but don't fake it. If you forget, politely ask again. People appreciate honesty more than pretending. Humans are wired for stories. We don't bond over facts, we bond over narratives. Instead of saying, "My holiday was nice," tell a story. "I got lost in the streets of Rome and ended up discovering the best gelato shop by accident." A story paints pictures, evokes emotions, and creates relatability. Encourage others to tell stories too by asking, "What was the most memorable part of your trip?" The beauty of stories is that they move conversations beyond surface level into something memorable. Not every conversation is easy. Sometimes you'll face disagreements, criticism, or even rudeness. The key is not to avoid conflict but to manage it with grace. Stay calm. Don't match anger with anger. Acknowledge feelings. "I understand why you're upset." Seek solutions, not blame. "What can we do to fix this?" Know when to walk away. If someone is toxic, it's okay to end the conversation politely. Respect is the foundation. You can disagree without disrespecting. The principles of talking to anyone remain the same, whether it's a stranger on the street or a CEO in the boardroom. With strangers, be approachable, curious, and kind. With colleagues, balance professionalism with warmth. With leaders, show respect, but don't lose confidence. Ask thoughtful questions. They appreciate insight. With loved ones, listen deeply, communicate honestly, and express gratitude. Every person, no matter how high their status, is still human. Treat them as such, and conversations will flow. Talking to anyone is a muscle. It grows with use. At first, you may stumble. You may feel awkward. But with each attempt, you improve. Think of it like learning to ride a bicycle. The first few rides are shaky, but once you master balance, it becomes natural. Similarly, the more conversations you have, the more comfortable you'll feel. Practical exercises. Join a club or social group. Attend events where you don't know anyone, and challenge yourself to meet 3 new people. Practice storytelling. Share 1 story a day with a friend. Reflect after each conversation. What went well? What can I improve? Over time, talking to anyone will no longer feel like a task. It will feel like second nature. At the heart of all conversation lies one principle. It's not about performing, it's about contributing. When you talk to someone, you're not on stage, being judged. You're sharing a moment, giving energy, offering kindness, or exchanging ideas. The pressure melts away when you shift from "how do I look" to "how can I make this person's day better?" Maybe you share a laugh. Maybe you offer encouragement. Maybe you simply listen. Whatever it is, your contribution matters. To talk to anyone is not just about mastering words. It's about embracing the gift of human connection. Every conversation is an opportunity, a chance to learn, to inspire, to comfort, to build bridges. Remember, people want to be understood. First impressions count. Listening is more powerful than speaking. Curiosity opens doors. Confidence grows with practice. Life is too short to live behind walls of silence. Reach out, speak, listen, laugh, and share. Whether with a stranger, a friend, or a loved one, each conversation has the power to change a life, including your own. So, the next time you wonder how to talk to anyone, don't overthink. Simply start with a smile, a question, and an open heart. The rest will follow.